Welcome to Show Me Missouri Rivalries. My name is Scott Fahn. We are here in southeast Missouri in the Bootheel for the Missouri Girls Tennis Class 1 State Champs of 2022 here in Kennett, Missouri, the Kennett Indians, and we're here joined by the coach, Janet Hillburn. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you.
Not just this year, but you've got like a 2-year thing running on, right?
Yes, sir.
Now introduce us to your team here.
This is Macy Bazzell. She's a senior. Junior Christi Tagjeda, and freshman Claire Bean.
Okay, so tell me the story. You're a senior.
Yes, sir.
So you've been here for both years of this run.
I have.
I mean, what an amazing thing to win a state title once.
It is.
But going back to back, and now no pressure for the rest of them, right? You're heading off to college.
I know. I'm leaving them with a great legacy.
So, Coach, tell me how tennis is broken down. I mean, see, people kind of get there's like 5-6 classes of football and basketball. Tennis has some different ways you can compete at the state level.
Tennis is a little different. You can compete at an individual level and you can compete at the team level. Now, the team that you have does both, but if you would happen to not have a strong team all the way down, you may not advance to the postseason. But individuals, you may have some really good players that when they go to the individual competition, they place first or second to advance to the sectionals, and then if they win at the sectionals, they could advance to the state level. There are 3 classes in tennis. That has just been in the last 2 to 3 years. It used to just be 2 classes. Class 1 was for the small schools, Class 2 for the big schools, and it was all based off of your school's
The attendance everybody has, like other classes, right?
That's correct. And just lately, in the last couple of years, they have added another class for the different levels and sizes. There's a different ratio equation for private schools versus public schools.
Now, you have a kind of an interesting wrinkle on your team, right? We're here at Kennett High School, but Claire, you're a Holcomb Hornet, right?
Yes.
Tell me how that works, how you can bring somebody from a smaller school in the area to play on your team.
If a school doesn't have a team of whatever sport, they can go to a neighboring town and hope to be voted into. Both schools have to agree to take in the person or persons from the other school that does not have that sport.
So, Christi, tell me why tennis?
One of my friends from high school actually got me to play tennis. I was a volleyball player in middle school, and then I ended up playing tennis as a freshman in high school.
Looks like it's worked out, right?
Yes.
What do you enjoy about it? I mean, when I think of Kennett, I don't necessarily jump to thinking tennis. What do you like about it?
I think we're all friends on the tennis team. There's no drama, anything like that, and then
no drama.
You can
maybe a little drama. There's low
friendly
drama.
Friendly drama.
Okay, all right. Now I'm on board with you.
Yeah, and then I think it's neat how you can go individually to state and team-wise.
So tell me about this run. Started 2 years ago. Now explain that you make a run. You win districts and sectionals, like everything else. What was the run like last year?
Last year, we just started the year. I knew I had a decent team, but the northern teams, they're pretty good, and we just played match by match, and we'd win, and got to the postseason, won the districts. But then when you go to sectionals as a team,
who'd you beat in districts your first time?
I think it was Notre Dame.
Nice.
And yes, that's always a sweet win.
Yeah.
And
anytime you beat Cape people, that's
yes,
great.
yes. And when we went to sectionals, we had to. There's like a semifinals, then a finals there to get you to the Final Four. And North County's always tough. And both years that we've had to play North County to advance to the Final Four.
You're talking about North St. Louis County? Nah.
North County.
Okay. So it seems odd that North County would be in the small school ratio, but who'd you play first when you got to the Final Four?
Last year was Bolivar.
Okay.
And it went down to the wire, of course. And
so you played the Liberators, right?
We did.
And you know a guy from there. So it must have been nice to beat a team where you know folks from there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the finals, we played and won against
Westminster Christian Academy.
Yes.
I mean,
And
that is awesome.
that was
You've
a big
won so many
time.
games, the coach has forgotten
Yes.
the the state championship game. So I understand there's an interesting story about how your first state title came about. Word on the street is that there was it was all tied up. So 3-3, right? So
4-4.
4-4. So you're the closer on this,
That was the last match on.
and that goes to a tie itself, right? So now you're in tiebreaker mode. That, I mean, so that's got to be like pressure. Everyone's watching, right?
Yes.
The whole team knows that, you know, whatever.
It's down to me.
They either get one of these great trophies and celebrate, or it's a little bit longer trip home. Yes. Tell me what that match was like.
It was very stressful. So at first, at our first set, I won 6-3, and that was good. My nerves are up. It was fine. I lost the second set, and then my coach was on go mode that I had to go through the tiebreaker. So I start up, I'm 5-1. I'm like, I got this. I'm watching Janet. She's doing little crunches in the background, and then she catches up to me. So we're tied up. And so I look around, and I just know I have to push through for my team. So then it goes up, and it's now 10-6, and we won.
There you go. Claire, have you seen Go Mode?
Yes.
What's Go Mode like?
Very stressful. Very stressful.
But successful, it looks like, right?
Yes.
So tell me about this year. So you're a freshman.
Yes.
You come on this team. It's won a state championship. I mean, you know, so you come on the team, no pressure, right? I mean, you could only screw it up, right?
No.
But you didn't, right?
No.
So that's kind of neat, though, when you are part of a winning tradition. That kind of, I just think when there's a winning culture, it just sort of goes to the whole team. Christi, when you show up, you plan to win, right? Because you won before.
Yeah.
So I guess then Go Mode is, you know, well, she knows what she's doing, right?
Yeah.
And there's no drama because you don't argue with Go Mode, I assume.
No.
So just tell me about this year. You make it to the Final Four. They're used to seeing you. Who do you play?
In the Final Four,
Yeah.
we play Chillicothe.
Yep. The home of sliced bread, of course.
Most of the time when we go to the state level, we don't know where these places are because they're all up north. And,
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's parts of Arkansas that are up north from Kennett, right?
well,
Yeah.
I guess. But anyway, so we go in and we have nothing to lose. And both years,
Hold on. Did you feel you had nothing to lose? You're going to lose the state title, right? I mean, you did have something to lose. I've known Claire a little bit. You probably felt like you had something to lose. Yeah, I thought so.
well, but as a coach, we go in there thinking we're the fourth seed. So if we win anything, we've met a goal. And both years we were fortunate to win that first one. I thought, oh, great, we're not going to get fourth. And
So
so
you stomped Chillicothe, right?
we did.
Then who you play next?
Clayton.
Oh, that's got to be nice, right? Because,
Yeah,
you know,
really.
Clayton just thought, it's tennis. This is the Bootheel.
We trailed the whole match. We
Yeah.
trailed the whole match.
And you had to think that Clayton could have maybe be pretty, I guess you'd say, confident about their chances, right?
Yes.
So tell me how that went.
Well, most people don't know where Kennett is.
true.
We have gotten better, and then when they find out where Kennett is, they're kind of more confident.
Well, I guess folks in Chillicothe and Clayton won't forget, right?
No. But anyway, we trailed basically the whole match, and it was nip and tuck the whole time, and I think we were even down 2-3, 1-3, and I just thought, here it is.
Before we get to the final one, I think people kind of have an idea of what a football coach does on the sideline, or a basketball coach, or the manager of a. What does a tennis coach do in the state championship? What do you do at a regular game, and what do you do at a state championship game?
You do a lot of pacing. Lots
Okay,
of
so it's
pacing.
kind of like the others, yeah. It's how much different?
Yes, and it just happened that this year, the winds were like 20, 25 miles an hour, and the girls wanted to play outside. Clayton didn't want to play outside, so I already knew that their mindset was really good, and that it favored us, even though we were down in the match. But I did a lot of pacing. I don't like to be around people. I talk a lot to myself. I talk a lot to the sky.
Bring the Lord involved
And the
sometimes, yeah,
Lord,
bring the Lord in on
and things like that. And it fell in our advantage.
So
It's unbelievable.
I heard everything was kind of lining up for a repeat of last year. We have to come in the last match, but not so much, right?
No.
You decided to just take care of things early, right?
Yes, I
Well, it's
did.
nice of you. You don't put somebody in a bad spot 2 years in a row. So what's that like when you're at the very end? And this is an interesting thing because I mean it's just a few people out there, right? I mean
Right.
it's not like a full basketball team, but you get stands, everybody watching you. When you win that last point, what happens? How do you feel?
It feels great. It does, because at the beginning I won the first set, and then I fell short on the second set, so I went into a tiebreaker, and I think
You
I
don't do
came in
tiebreakers a
strong.
lot here, right?
I came in strong on the tiebreaker. I think it was like, it might have been 9. It was like 8-0, and then she started catching up, and then it was 8-1, 8-2, 8-3, and then I finally ended up, I think it was 10-6, maybe.
You didn't want a lot of drama, like you want a little drama, right?
Yeah.
You want
I had to play around a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Pop them up for a minute. They are Clayton. It's nice of you. So you played in some doubles, right?
Yes.
Tell me what that's like.
I played with Hanley McAtee, and then we won the individual championship for the doubles. And we worked really hard, and I think we...
Who'd you play?
We played Bolivar.
Man, you just don't let Bolivar up on the mat, do you? I mean, poor Liberators. You played, so that's how it goes.
Palmyra.
Yeah, I think
Palmyra. So they had their own Palmyra Massacre, just in reverse this time, when you're putting it on them, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what's the time commitment like? I mean, you've done this, I guess you played all 4 years?
Yes, I have.
I mean, it's, how much time do you have to dedicate to practice? And how do you balance that with your schoolwork?
A lot of time is put into tennis, especially with Coach Janet. She does not play around. If it's a rainy day, we're inside the gym running. It's never an off day with us, but we keep a good balance with our schoolwork.
So when is season? Do you have
Fall.
season one? Okay. So you go through the fall, when does it start, I guess when school starts? a little
We
before?
start summer workings when school ends.
So
So it's basically
fun
all
this week, but next week they're back, and
probably yes.
that's brutal. I mean, you get like a weekend off.
Yes.
When is the finals in tennis?
October.
October. So you go through then, and you kind of go reprieve. So how do you balance? How much time is committed during your early part of the school year?
Well, some in the off season they're working with a trainer to get stronger. Some are doing lessons off and on. I've been fortunate to have good kids that their grades have not been a problem. They keep up in the classroom. But not only are they tennis players, they might be cheerleaders, they might be basketball players. They do a lot of things, but I'm just fortunate to have good girls, and they know what it takes, and that's the reason that my team is so successful. They know what hard work is.
Well, I guess when you're telling somebody, hey, come play, you tell them this is a big deal. This is a big commitment, right?
Yeah.
Let me break it down. How nice is it? How great does it feel to be from a small town, be from a small school,
It's amazing.
and go beat these big cities in a state championship?
It's amazing, the support we receive from our community.
I mean, that's got to feel good. I mean,
Yeah, especially coming back after winning that state champ that night, and then everybody's out at the school waiting for us with posters and stuff like that.
Isn't that awesome? So, I mean, that's got to be really cool to come from a small town, and you go defeat these bigger schools. That's got to kind of mean a little something, because some of them didn't see you coming, right? Then you get to go.
None of them see us coming.
That's got to be a little extra pride in it, right? Why are you so good at tennis?
I put a lot of effort into it and time, and I drive to Jonesboro, or my mom drives me to Jonesboro every week to do lessons, and I've been doing it since I was 4 and taking lessons.
Well, eye of the tiger in her. Turn it on when she wants to be mean. So tell me this though. When you look back, I always thought some of the funnest times I had at high school was on the baseball field. That's what I played. When you really think about it, and you're leaving now, it is kind of, when you think about the funnest times you've had, it might not be a math test. It might be on the tennis court, right?
Yes, for sure. I will miss all our fun memories.
And she said all, like she drugged that out a little bit. That wasn't a Southern draw. I think she put a little emphasis on that.
Well, these 2 years we've had a lot of fun memories, and our administration, they're great. You know, if we want to go a day early just to go practice over there or whatever, I mean, they just don't say no to us.
That means a lot. Probably the girls can tell that too when they have that
huge.
support.
We have other schools
Yeah.
that we'll hear them say, well, is the school paying for this? Is the school paying for that? And so they just never say no, and it's great.
Speaking of memories, I heard you left something behind once, right? In one of these matches.
Yes, we were at Jefferson City. We were getting a tour of the Capitol in January last year, and
You probably know a guy that knows his way around there, right?
Claire's dad.
Oh, that would be it, yeah.
Mr. Bean. So we went up there, and then I think we were about 2 hours away from Kennett already. We were on our way back to Kennett, and I just woke up out of nowhere, and I was like, my keys, because I didn't remember if I had my keys or not. And we started looking everywhere, and So basically, we had to have Claire's dad bring him to me like a day later. So I didn't have my vehicle for a while.
Okay, now that you're graduated, right?
Yes.
You're out. You hid the keys, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I figured so. Figured you could admit it now. I mean,
Me and Hanley McAtee.
so you're gonna play. You in tennis for 4 years. You're with the coach.
Yes.
What are you looking to do after?
I have no idea.
No pressure. Yeah, your dad asked me to ask you that. So you're a junior, right? Where are you looking to go to college at?
I'm kind of looking either at, I was thinking of Ole Miss or A-State, just depending on.
Considering playing tennis there?
Yeah, or
Maybe, right?
maybe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe.
So you're already in for Ole Miss.
Yes.
Not gonna play. What are you gonna study at Ole Miss?
Biological sciences.
Oh my gosh. You really shouldn't be that good at tennis if you're that smart. So it is kind of neat though to see these girls come through, learn things that they can take to Ole Miss. And it is, like I said, the best friends I had from school were on the baseball team. The best memories I had were playing baseball. The other stuff was important, but I think I enjoyed it all more because I played sports.
They have a good time playing sports, and we have a balance. I know they say that I'm go mode, and I am when it's time to work
seem
and
confident about that.
things like that. I'm all business, but a lot of times when we're on trips, I let them make the decisions, and if it's nothing out of the way, out of the off track, then we usually go with what they want. So there's a balance.
Well, Claire, Christi, Bazzell, Coach, thank you so much for having us. We'll be right back. We'll talk about Kennett and the town and how much the school means to the people in the town here in Kennett after this. Welcome back to Showing Missouri Rivalries. We are here in Kennett, the home of the Class 1 state champion tennis team 2 years in a row now. Now we're joined by State Senator Jason Bean. Thank you for the time, sir.
Hey, great to be here.
Right here in your district, right down the road from your house, aren't we?
Absolutely. Used to go to school here. So.
And thanks for sticking around with us. Claire Bean, state champion tennis player. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Chris Wilson, thank you very much for the hospitality.
Glad you're here. It's a great day.
And Dave Williams, school board, right?
Yes, sir.
Right here in Kennett. What an honor it is to serve on the school board, and probably what a do you ever really may not get thanked for it, but you can kind of feel like your time is worth it when you see young ladies like this, not only succeeding in the classroom, but succeeding on the field, and really what an honor for the town, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When being the superintendent of a school like this, break down how important, I mean, obviously you deal with it every day, but how important it is to a town like Kennett to have a school that's successful, to have a team like this that wins. Break down the role that you feel in the community being superintendent of schools.
You know, it's amazing because our district has so much support in the community, and you know, from our athletics to our academics to everything. And when you get off to a good start in the fall with a great tennis team and a great football team, and you know, the success on the volleyball, it makes your school year go, you know, quite a bit better. And you know, it's just a reflection for your kids. Your kids walk the hallway with their pride. You know, they walk the hallway with their heads up, and so it's just very fortunate. And again, I can't express how much support we have in our community from, you know, people that have graduated and left, but hey, they still want to be involved. And so just a very fortunate place to be here, very fortunate to have the opportunity to serve.
So it's gotta feel nice. You go win a state championship, that's great, right?
Yes, sir.
Then you come home and you have the community that's been supporting you, holding signs up, that's gotta feel awesome, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
I mean, when you're coming back, do you ever really think about the reception and how much it's going to mean? Obviously, it's going to mean something to you, but it means something to the people that in the community, the folks you go to school with.
Yes.
Got to give you a little extra motivation, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, there's a different. Missouri's a great state. It's got a lot of different parts of it, but here in this part, in the Bootheel, I mean, the schools are a major part of these communities, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you talked about, you know, coming back, bringing a state championship. I mean, when they got back to Kennett that night, you know, police escort all the way through town, like you said, signs holding up. I mean, the community comes out. It's great to see.
So it's got to feel good because I assume there's some school board meetings where, you know, maybe people are calling you and giving you their opinion, and it's not always positive, right?
Sure.
A school board is you talk about public service. A school board is public service. It's got to feel better though when you can coming to a victory party like this.
Absolutely. Like Chris said, the community really attends the matches well. I mean, there's people that are alumni from the program all the way up to elderly people that were big tennis players in the community forever. It's just very well supported. It's fun to see the community come together over something like this.
And you have a daughter that went through the program, right?
I do.
What's she doing now?
She is in grad school at Fayetteville, University of Arkansas.
What's she studying?
Speech pathology.
Wow. It's an amazing thing, though, how you go on, and obviously kids come to school to learn, but it really enhances that experience, learning, and gives you that positive momentum you're talking about when they're successful on the athletic field.
Absolutely. And the teamwork, Coach Hillburn does such a good job with bonding the girls together. They get along well. They have fun. She makes it fun for them too. It's not just it's not just grind. It is grind, but
Sounds like there's a little go time involved with this, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
How important is getting the right coaches to the school in the right spots?
It's everything, and that's what I tell our coaches is, we want to put the right people in the right place so that it makes our jobs easier. It makes everybody's job, from the principal to the assistant soup to myself to the board members, and that's what we do. We try to find that right person, put them in that, give them the support, the resources they need, give them guidance when they need it. But in a situation with Coach Hillburn, who's been here, who's established, who's got a program like this, you really just say, hey, what do you need and how can we help you?
Let's be real though, it's getting a little harder, isn't it? I mean, it's a little harder to fill these teaching. It's hard to fill every position right now in every walk of life. But I've seen a lot of folks that run schools. It's hard to get those teachers.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and as you mentioned, it's becoming more and more of a challenge. And that's where you've got to get creative as a district. You've got to think outside the box. And again, that goes back to a supportive board. That goes back to a supportive community. When you're 20 years ago when I started in the district, we would have 35 applicants for an elementary, and now we have 3 or 4. And so, those times have changed. It changes the way you do business, how you think about, and so, but again, it's, we're not going to settle for second. We're going to do what we can do here to be the best. That's what I tell everyone is we want everyone in the Bootheel or in the state to look at Kennett and go, hey, that's where we want to go. They're doing it right.
How important is the coach? I mean, you've done this, you're a freshman, but I mean, I would think in any situation where you have a continuum of success, the coach matters, right?
Yes.
Tell me the best thing she's done to help you.
She's pushed me a lot, and I know that she knows I can do really good, and she's just always been there for me when playing, and she's taught me a lot.
It's an interesting thing. Claire goes to Holcomb, but they don't have a tennis team, so she can come down here and play. That's kind of nice, neighborly way we do things down here, right?
Absolutely. I mean, doing that, Gideon and Risco, for example, they co-op on their baseball team. So I think it's a great thing when you have schools like Holcomb that don't have tennis, don't offer tennis, but they can go to their neighboring schools and look how it's worked out. You got a state championship that.
Not bad, huh? Kind of talk about how important when you're sitting down with your wife, you're talking about, well, this is an interesting opportunity. Would love to play tennis, but this is kind of a unique way to do it. I mean, that coach makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And, you've heard Dr. Wilson and David both talk about, Janet has done such a tremendous job, been at this a long time. Like I say, huge community support. This is where we wanted her to play tennis.
And it worked out, right?
Absolutely.
So you're going to keep playing tennis?
Yes, sir.
Kind of felt like so. All right, so now you're ninth grade. You're not probably too late to plan, but you want to keep playing tennis after high school?
Well, I don't know about that.
See how it goes?
See how it goes.
Like that. Let's talk about how it really interacts with the rest of the school. You have a team like this tennis team that established record of success. Young women want to be part of it. They have an alumni group of it now. What's it do to the rest of your athletic program?
Well, I think they just have to raise their game up. They see it out there. You look down, you see state trophies, and those other coaches are, hey, I want that too. And your kids see the same thing. Your kids see the attention they get, the respect they get, and we've been very fortunate from the football success we've had to the baseball to the softball success, and it winning breeds winning. Coaches are competitive, or everybody's competitive, but your coaches are competitive, and no one wants to see somebody get a leg up on them without saying, hey, I made a trip to the Final Four. I brought a trophy home.
Where do you find that success? When to find success, you almost always have to have a work ethic. That work ethic can transfer to the classroom, right?
Absolutely, and that's one thing, we make sure that comes first. That's why you're here. You're here to get your education, and playing the sport second. And if you can't act right in the classroom, if you can't perform in the classroom, if you can't do all those things that we expect out of you, you're not going to get that opportunity to be part of.
Well, that's the next piece of it. You can't act up either, or you don't get to play in sporting things. So it is a deterrent and an inspirator at the same time.
Oh, I think so, because these coaches, as they talk about, not only are they great coaches, but they're great teachers. And when they're out there coaching, it's an extension of their classroom. I mean, you may be doing something different, but you're teaching in that same manner. And so those student athletes have to understand that they're going to be held to a higher standard. We want to hold them to a higher standard, because they do get to go out on a Friday night, or they do get to go out and have a match on a certain day. And when those folks walk out there with that Kennett jersey on, we want them, we want to be proud of them.
I had to earlier in the show, Coach Hillburn talked about how if the team needs something, they have it. If they can justify a rational need, they have it. He said the girls know that. It impacts how they view, how serious they take things. It's going to make you feel a little bit of pride that you're on the board that facilitates that, not just those opportunities and that money, frankly, but that confidence.
It does, but it's a team effort. I mean, it's all the way from the administration, the teachers, the coaches. It just comes down from the top like that, and we support each other, we trust each other. Success breeds success.
So it's interesting. We talked about how you got to make good grades. Can't play on the tennis team. You can't be out causing trouble. You'd be on the tennis team, right? So we talked about this a little bit before, but you played in the doubles,
Yes.
state champion. You had a known troublemaker come visit you on the tennis court, right? Who was that again?
Dad.
And his colleague?
Lincoln Huss.
Yeah. Known troublemaker, like I was saying. So sometimes athletics does attract some undesirables to where you are, right?
Yes.
But it's just something you have to deal with, right? Pesky fans and what have you. Do you think sometimes you have colleagues from all over the state?
Yes.
It is a different world in North Missouri. They're different type folks. Southwest Missouri is a different, good folks, similar but a little different. Obviously, Central Missouri, you got a different type of person. There's a lot of similarities, but there's some distinctions. Then you've got some folks in the cities, and especially the suburbs. I would think it'd be very hard when you're trying to talk about a piece of legislation. It's probably hard for you to understand their way of life and them to understand this way of life.
I mean, I've fought that since I've been a state senator, that, the urban, suburban versus our rural way of life is something that, we've obviously had those differences since the word go. But the one thing I've always tried to invite those senators down to our area, and especially when we're talking about education, and you've heard about how the community support is for our athletics, come down here on a Friday. Come down here on Saturday. Let's go to these gymnasiums. You want to see support. You want to see how a community supports their schools. Let's come down here and see that. And I've invited all of them to see that, because I don't think they have that in their areas. I think there are some parents probably don't know where the school is. And I will tell you, I have seen auctions to support schools. I've seen people down here probably donating their whole paycheck, at an auction to support their schools. So it's just different. And, I'm proud. That's one of the things that makes me proud being from the Bootheel, is how our people support our rural schools.
We've seen that troublemaker linking up, blow up the Senate for a day to support rural schools.
And hey, how did I get involved in the troublemaker business? Now, come on.
I mean, I was setting up a Lincoln joke, and you took a hard right there. I mean, respect. But even more than that, I mean, I'm not sure, being from Neelyville, you have to cut through Arkansas a little bit, but you can get there pretty strict. I wouldn't have really known the tennis team would have been that awesome. I wouldn't have known the community would have been there waiting for them to come home with posters and signs. I mean, that's something that, if you'd told me the football team, I would have thought that. But it's really cool to see the girls' tennis team be that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that's made this tennis team so productive over the years is like we've talked about, the support. And and I believe in 2007-8 when we redone our tennis complex out there, I mean, we had support from Cheryl Crow, just an amazing monetary support. We got a grant from the USTA Association with the help of Cheryl and her dad. So that's what it goes back to, that type of support that you get and that this community has. And I think you'll be hard pressed to find as nice a complex as we have in our area with a community our size. And so again, it goes back to that. come and see what we have, as Senator Bean said. Don't judge us that, hey, they're down in that part of the Missouri that Arkansas didn't want type thing. Come and see what we have. Come and see what we're doing down here.
It's also neat. I mean, to me, when you talk about a place there in the Bootheel, it's special if you have a new facility, but it's even more special when the folks are there, right? Because they care. It is just a different environment. It just means a little more sometimes, right? Before we go here, if you were trying to explain, take the football stuff out for a second, basketball. If you were trying to explain to one of your colleagues what it means to a young person to go to Springfield, to get to stay overnight, to get to win a state championship in a sport that, frankly, a lot of people wouldn't facilitate with Kennett, then to come home and have the town out celebrating them, I mean, how do you explain that effectively to somebody? You also have to come see it, right?
You do, just like Senator Huff, coming to see that, being a part of that. And it's great. And like I say, to see that community, see the kids, it's all about the kids. I mean, that's what it's about. And to see them, to, give them something they might never have had. And like I say, to bring that back to these towns, it's incredible.
So what I guess he's saying is your tennis game match would probably be the person that takes credit for getting Lincoln to help schools in session, right? Yeah, that's what I read too. I mean, it makes sense to me. But how do you explain this to folks? Like, you go to these conferences all around the state, and again, Missouri is the most diverse state in the nation. Here in the Bootheel, it sometimes just means a little more.
Yeah, and again, you've got to show yourself, but I think we do an excellent job of that in Kennett. We're proud of what we have. We're going to tell people about it. We're going to show people that, and on the other side of that, we're not where we're like, hey, we don't have to improve. Every day we're looking as how we improve, how do we get better. You go here and you see this and you're like, I want to do that, or I want part of this, or I can incorporate this here. And so that's what makes our programs good. That's what makes our district as a whole, is that we're not going to settle. We're all continuing to get better.
You've been here 20 years, right? Yes. So that's an amazing amount of time. Tell me how your career went.
Started out, I came here as an assistant at the building level, assistant administrator at the building level, and then I stepped into the role as assistant superintendent for 6 years, and now this is my 13th year as a superintendent.
It's a long time. It says a lot about the community. You've been here that long, I think.
It does, and again, it goes back to the support. It goes back to having board members like Mr. Williams that, we work hard, we work together, we agree to disagree, but it's professional, and we know it's what's best for the kids. We know it's what's best for the town and what's best for the community. And
the longevity matters, right?
Yeah, and it does. You've got a history of things that you can lean on.
You have a good superintendent one state, but you have to have a good school to keep a good superintendent, right?
Absolutely. It works in harmony. It really does. It's what makes the world go round right here. So.
Pretty much. Well, Senator Bean, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking around with us and talking. You have any great stories you want to tell about your dad while we have the cameras rolling? Okay, for after. We'll do it after.
Hey, I've got one.
I'd like to hear it.
So, and it's not about me, it's about my daughter Claire.
Of course.
So they go and they win doubles, her and her partner, and Springfield's got this figured out. They have you come back the next week for team play. So Claire is playing the #1 girl in the state from Clayton. And in fact, you're down 5-2, if I remember right, and the first 1 to 6 wins. Is that right?
Yes.
So she's
and
down.
You're a freshman.
Freshman. This girl's a junior. So she's down 5-2, and comes back and beats this girl, and once again wins her match. So she comes off the court, give her a big hug. Doing great. What do you think? She looks at me. What do you think she says?
Want to go to Disneyland?
It wasn't Disneyland. It was, Dad, do they have any more of those hot dogs at the concession stand?
Well, that's the way not to get the big head, but you should have said Disneyland. You might have got a yes right there.
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you so much for the hospitality. It's been fun. Congratulations on the success of the tennis team and the success here at the school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be back next week for Missourah Rivalries. We'll talk all about the rivalries that make high school sports fun. See you then.